Many teams are trying to figure out who's going to be their quarterback. And, you know, you've got the Raiders, the Giants, you've got the Colts fishing around to sort of figure out which direction they're going to go in because they need it, right? And it's just going back to the Stafford situation, right? We knew that the Giants and the Raiders, they were in. They thought they were getting him. So now they've pivoted. And you've got the Giants lined up with Aaron Rodgers, which, by the way, it's not just Aaron Rodgers. Just like any quarterback-hungry team right now, you've got to line out to every veteran quarterback. Like, name one in the market, the Giants have reached out. The Raiders have reached out. Like, you have to.
Who would the Giants prefer, though? Like, number one choice, draft or Rodgers?
I would think Rodgers at this point.
Wow.
I still think they can do both, though. I don't think it's one or the other.
Yeah.
I think it's Rodgers and let's go get a young guy.
Do you think if it's Rodgers, do you think they move up to 1? Or do you think they stick at 3 if they get Rodgers? Or do you think it matters?
I think it depends on what the Titans want to do.
Gotcha.
If the Titans are willing to trade out,
then
I think the Giants are still going to try to do it.
Gotcha.
But we'll see what the Titans will do. I'm hearing different things every day. I
that's what I
still
was
believe
saying.
they're going to trade out. I still believe.
It makes the most sense, especially if it's to the Giants. I know we're not talking about it, but like if you're the Titans and there's only 2 generational players, in my opinion, in this draft, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, not even including the quarterbacks. You move back 2 spots to 3, you gain a lot of trade compensation, and the person going up to 1's probably getting a quarterback. You're still going to have your choice of either Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or a quarterback at 3. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk these quarterbacks from outside the Giants, the Raiders, right? I mean,
what are they doing?
Let them know, because we don't know. Right, so I mentioned Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Zach Wilson. You've got a bunch of guys available. Chip Kelly's the offensive coordinator, right? We think of Chip. We obviously think UCLA right now, Ohio State, spread offense.
Yeah, spread.
You know, he brought the no huddle to the NFL, as we saw. We remember Marcus Mariota, Oregon, all that, everything. So who fits that, right? That they're not doing this from what I know, but why not Daniel Jones in Vegas? Right? He's a mobile athletic
He's very mobile. He's very athletic.
We'll see what Justin Fields situation
That's what I was going to say and ask. If the field situation doesn't work out and he can get more money elsewhere, say the Raiders, because I'm just like spitballing, but like what about Fields in a actual college style offense like a Chip Kelly offense? Because quite honestly, as long as you know how I feel about Justin Fields and how we feel about Justin Fields in this show, he was 4-2 as a starter in Pittsburgh. If you can actually give him an offense that fits him, because in his entire career in Chicago and in Pittsburgh, okay, he has played sort of a pro style, drop back style offense. That's not him. Why not build around him and put him in a position to really succeed and have that X factor as his legs be a number 1 threat? The Raiders, to me, and Chip Kelly give him that option.
All right, well, I like this then, because you just married Justin Fields to the Raiders. Let's set up a couple marriages.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's go to Daniel Jones then, because I mentioned him. Where would you like to see him? What makes sense for someone who's trying to resurrect their career and has shown ability? We just haven't seen him have an offensive line.
Yeah, no, I agree. He takes a lot of sacks. He definitely is a dual threat type guy, right? I can't imagine him leaving Minnesota. Like there's a reason why Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings stayed with him. Not really necessarily to start. I mean, maybe, who knows if Sam Darnold goes elsewhere, right? But I think Daniel Jones has to stay with Kevin O'Connell. We're not sure how J.J. McCarthy's going to look. I don't know if it's his best spot to start right away. But in reality, I don't know if you're any team that needs quarterbacks that's going to be reaching out to Daniel Jones to be your starter right away.
Are you now understanding how I'm saying all of this is like one piece affects the other piece that affects the other? Like,
I've lived it my entire 14-year career, and not the starters, but the backup quarterback. It's like a musical chair. It's like, all right, well, we want you and you, but if we can't get you and you go elsewhere, then we got to pivot. But then what if it's so crazy. My agent is like, he doesn't let me know when that was going on, but like there were multiple times in multiple seasons I thought I was going to Team X and I'd end up in Team Y with more money. but Team X was a better fit. I'm like, well, let's go there. Like, well, we can't because he actually re-signed this non-restricted free agent. It's just crazy. And there is a lot of that happening in real time. And that's why these teams have these big free agent boards and they rank their quarterbacks 1, 2, 3. All right, this is who we want at this price. If this price is too rich, then we're going to go to this price. Or it's like, hey, priority free agent. They rank their boards so differently. And the crazy thing about it, Dianna, is every team I've been on 7, almost a quarter of the league. All of them do it completely different than the other. They all have varying techniques. That's what's crazy about it.
Yeah. No, I've always wondered what that's like, because if it's crazy for us to report it, what's it like to be the actual person?
Yeah,
you know,
it's a lot of
as you know, because you've now been on the other side of it. We're finding out within seconds of the player knowing. It's not like a couple minutes go by. I mean, I've had free agencies before where I'm on the phone with a player and they literally were like, my agent just texted me.
Yeah.
Like, what the
heck? It is very, very, like, people are like, oh, your free agency gets done at the combine, right? Where you're not supposed to tamper, but you're like, oh, there's so many deals that get done. Let's just be honest. There's so many deals that get done at the combine. Yeah. I feel like when there's star players in a really good free agency class, that happens. Then there's always like different phases of free agency, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, right? I feel like this year, especially with the quarterback stuff, teams still don't have their mind made up on some things because they were waiting on Stafford. Once Stafford got done, then I was like, all right, where does everyone else fit? Now it's sort of like Rodgers. If Rodgers doesn't fit with the Giants, I don't know where he fits.
I don't know where he fits either.
And then it's Russell Wilson is next.
It's Sam Darnold's the first one, though.
Yeah.
We need the Sam one needs to look. The sense around the league is Sam's going back to Minnesota.
He's got to be back, right?
That's what most teams think is going to happen there. It's not official. It's not final. It's not like it's agreed upon.
What is the money? That is the biggest thing.
It's a great question, and I've been asking people outside Minnesota to give me an idea of what a Sam Darnold deal looks like, and I've been getting a lot of 2 for $60, 2 for $60 with some upside, and I think that's fair. I think that's smart. I think that's good.
See, I was thinking just without hearing that, and it sort of is sort of my way of thinking. It makes me feel a little better that I somewhat know what I'm talking about. I was thinking like to make it look good for Sam, right? Because all these contracts, and we'll do a free agency show, but you guys got to realize that all these contracts and these numbers that these agents are dropping is not the real number. Look at the guaranteed money. That's what you need to look at. So could you sign a 3-year 90? Sam Darnold got $90 million with $60 million guaranteed, technically a 2-year contract. You know what I mean? Like something like that.
What was your biggest fake out? What was your biggest fake out deal? Where it's like, God, that sounded like I made a lot, but it was not.
I would say Detroit. The Detroit contract, it was a really good deal. It was a 3-year, I think it was like $14 million. And I had like 5.5 guaranteed, but it made it sound like it was really good. It was technically like a 1-year, $5 million deal.
Yeah. You are a liar.
Which is great for my agent and for me. But I remember when that contract dropped, because it was COVID year. And I just finished a 2-year, $10 million deal in Chicago. And when people found that out, they're like, Chase, he's still worth $5 a year? Chase, who is this bum? What are you doing? I'm like, you know what I am?
Where I was. I swear. I remember where I was in my old apartment before I was even married when that story broke. And thinking the same thing. Like,
that
this guy.
You know what? That is messed up.
I'm like, this guy won't go away. I know, but you were so appreciated and loved in the league, and we loved being around you. And it was just, I just remember thinking, I'm so happy he's still playing. But oh my God.
Yeah. But like, then that's
I've never
exactly,
even seen him play.
No doubt. And I think that was sort of the sentiment, because like when I got because I went back in 2017 after my deal in Philly to the Saints, and I sort of made league minimum for the Saints, but I was getting paid from Philly. And then after that, even me, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to get another like big deal in free agency. And then sure enough, like it was between going back to Kansas City. This is great. I've never talked about this. It was going back to Kansas City, that 2018 offseason with Andy Reid, because they wanted me to be the guy to help usher in the Patrick Mahomes era. That's a fact. But I think the money was like 3.5 a year. And then Chicago had just hired Matt Nagy, who is my quarterback coach. We'll offer you $5 a year, $10 million. Pretty much will guarantee it all. I'm like, I got to go with the money. Yeah, but I don't regret it because I got to play a lot. However, the Chiefs went to like 7 straight AFC championship games, so I could have had some Super Bowls in there. But it was the right time for us and right move.
By the way, I had a quick cup of coffee with Matt Nagy in Indy. He's just awesome.
Nags is one of my favorite coaches.
Quick cup of coffee. That's the saying I was looking for. I had a quick cup of coffee in Seattle. That's what I was trying to say. And we were talking about coffee. It was right there.
I know.
All right. Well, I love just hearing all that background on just how this all comes together, because it's such a side that most people don't even know about and think about it. And I think tons of people that have listened to this show have followed along and probably had the same opinion I did when you kept getting awesome deals, and good for you. Right, so we hit Sam Darnold, we hit Daniel Jones, we hit Russell Wilson. Oh, no, we didn't hit Russell. Tell me about Russell.
Raiders is, I'm guessing that Fields is probably going to end up, even though I think he should go to the Raiders, with Pittsburgh. I think really the only team that makes sense for him is to go back to the Raiders, right? With Pete, I don't know. Is there any other team showing interest in him? He can still play at a high level. It's just like, for me, the thing with Russ, I don't know if Russ can lead you to a Super Bowl, but I know Russ can play good ball. And so what does that contract look like? 25 million? 30 million? You're sort of paying for what he's done.
Yeah.
And he didn't play well down the stretch, and you don't want to embarrass him, like all that stuff.
I know. It's not as simple. So we'll see if Pittsburgh decides to go to move on from Russell, which I believe they do. I think we've been pretty consistent there, but you never know. The one I want to see, and it's not that I have some like allegiance or connection or I think he's so amazing, but I want to see him have some success in a second round here, is Zach Wilson.
Oh.
What if Zach lands somewhere? And can compete,
where?
Right? He's in Denver. The trio is Jarrett Stidham, Bo Nix, and Zach together. They're like 3 best friends. I saw them on Instagram.
They're in
Cabo together.
We were I was in the meeting room with them.
10s
at training camp.
Yes. Oh yeah. You were around them. You saw how
we saw them up close and personal. Both of us.
I did. Yes. No,
I
said
good.
Hi. I know, but I didn't talk to him too much because the whole Jets thing. But either way, I'm curious to see if Sean Payton's going to keep him there, try to bring him back because he likes him a lot, or if Zach is going to go test the market and see what's out there for him.
What? Well, okay, all right.
I'm just saying, like,
as a backup.
Yeah, I'm sure as a backup, but you never know. Like maybe there's a spot for him where, is it a Chip Kelly situation where he'd fit well? Is Zach Wilson a kind of guy Indy would bring? Probably not.
Do you think he's going to get some interest?
I think he will.
He's got good film
Miami
from preseason.
Bring him?
He's got
the Dolphins?
Oh, with
just trying to think of style of play, what would fit well with a Mike McDaniel. I feel like a Mike McDaniel would be awesome with
Frank
him.
Smith, love that guy down there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a 3. I think he's a 2. I think he's proven that he can be a 2 and play spot duties. So a 2 makes a lot of sense. I just, being with Sean Payton for 5 years, they barely pay their backup. So I can't imagine they're going to pay the 3.
Yeah.
Good money.
And then you have Jarrett Stidham, who is like the best quarterback insurance on planet Earth because he never plays because the starter stays healthy.
That's exactly like my
Which
career.
is good. Right? You should pay him just for that.
Yeah, I never got to play. Starter always stayed healthy.
There you go. That should be his opening line. Thanks for tuning into Scoop City. If you want to hear more, make sure you like and subscribe. We drop our new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.